Good morning, all of you. Good morning. So, in last lecture, we have completed section number 54. Correct? Now, section 54B. I think we have seen few points in section 54B. SSE, individual or HUF will get the benefit of section number 54. Then there should be transfer of urban agricultural land and not rural agricultural land. Why rural agricultural land will not be included? Because rural agricultural land is not your capital asset. That is not your capital asset. That's why it is not there. Asset must be either short term or long term. So, for all short term capital asset, long term capital asset, the benefit is available. Such land has been used for agricultural purpose. Okay, this is most IMP part. It should be or it has to be used for agricultural purpose immediately preceding 2 years by such individual or his parent or HUF. Okay, for example, if I want to sell the property on this 1st July 2021, my urban agricultural land, so it must be used for agricultural purpose from 1st July 2019 to 30th June 2021. Sorry. Okay. He should purchase another agricultural land. Okay. How the benefit will be given? So sale of urban agricultural land and purchase against the income from that selling, purchase another agricultural land, and that should be urban or rural within 2 years from the date of transfer. Within 2 years, new assets should be purchased. Such investment is not made before the date of filing the return of income, then capital gain has to be deposited under CGAS. Now, who will give me the full form of CGAS? Chalo, I want reply from you. CGAS, full form. Yes, Dilip. Divesh. Uttam, Deepak, correct. Capital gain account scheme. This is the account which is to be opened in scheduled bank if you are not able to invest your money in property. I have given you the example that you have 2 years time period, okay, to invest, but you have to file your income tax return within 6 months after completion of your financial year. So how you can predict that I will purchase that property within 2 years or not, or how income tax department will give you the exemption? So it can't be possible. It can't be possible. That's why you can invest the money in capital gain account scheme. Okay, such amount utilized by SSE for the purchase of new asset, and the amounts so deposited shall be deemed to be the cost of new asset. Okay, you have to use the capital gain account scheme balance for the purpose of purchase of new agricultural or rural or urban agricultural land. Now, what will be the amount of exemption? The same amount, the cost of new agricultural land or capital gain. But here, the presentation is given like that. If the cost of new agricultural land is more than or equal to capital gain, then entire capital gain is exempt. But if your new agricultural land is less than capital gain, then capital gain to the extent of cost of new agricultural land is exempt. So, for example, my capital gain is 50 lakh rupees. My capital gain is 50 lakh rupees. And I purchase the capital asset, new capital asset, which is of 60 lakh rupees. Which is of 60 lakh rupees. My capital gain is 50 lakh rupees. And I acquire new asset that is of 60 lakh rupees. So I will get the benefit of section 54B up to 50 lakh rupees only. Why? Because capital gain is 50 lakh. Then how can you get the benefit of 60 lakh? Tomorrow capital gain is 50 lakh. Then you cannot get the benefit over and above the capital gain. Now this is the first scenario. Second scenario. If your new agricultural land is less than capital gain, now your capital gain is 50 lakh rupees again, but you acquire new asset that is of 26 lakh only. So you will get the benefit up to 26 lakh rupees only, and your long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain will be 50 lakh minus you will get the benefit of 26 lakh, 24 lakh. You have to pay the tax. Here it will be nil. Why? Because you have invested more than the required amount. Okay? Done? Clear? The same thing is given in section 54. In 54 also it is the same rule is given. Amount of exemption available under section 54. Long-term gain arising on such residential house or amount invested in that particular house, but it cannot exceed the long-term capital gain. Long-term capital gain or amount invested, whichever is lower. Okay? In last lecture we have done this. Now, the newly acquired agricultural land is also transferred within the 3 years of acquisition, then the cost of land will be reduced by the capital gain exempted earlier and not applicable. Okay, not applicable, that we will discuss later. First of all, you have to keep this asset for 3 years. You have to keep this asset for 3 years. If you sell this new asset, then it will be reduced from the capital gain exempted earlier. The cost of land would be reduced by the capital gain exempted earlier. Now, for example, this is financial year 2020-21. Okay, this is financial year 2020-21. Now you have purchased the new asset and you will get the benefit of section 54B. Now after 2 years, you sell this asset in FY 2022-23. You sell this new asset, newly acquired asset for now after 2 years you sell this new asset. But you are not supposed to sell. The lock-in period is 3 years. But no, I want to sell this. So you sell this asset, let's say for 35 lakh rupees. Which asset? This asset, 54, newly acquired asset, 54B, on which you have taken the exemption. Now, what will be the cost here? Sir, I have purchased the asset for 26 lakh rupees. So that will be my cost. That will be my cost only. Yes. But it will be reduced. Here it is given. It will be reduced. Your cost of land would be reduced by the capital gain exempted earlier. It will be reduced by the capital gain exempted earlier. So earlier I have taken the capital gain exemption of 3 years. Sorry, 26 lakh. So that 26 lakh rupees will be reduced minus capital gain benefit taken earlier. So my purchase price will be nil and I have my capital gain will be 35 lakh minus nil. That will be 35 lakh rupees. 35 lakh rupees. Why? Because you have sold your asset earlier. The same rule will apply in section 54, section 54B here. Okay? Clear? Are you getting this, class? Why the purchase price we have taken is nil? Because asset is sold before time period. Clear? I got 2 replies only. If it is not clear, then please raise your doubt. Okay? Either say yes or no. Madhav, are you there? Are you there, Madhav? Okay. Now, point number next. Section 54D. Next exemption. Compulsory acquisition of land and building. Now your land and building is compulsorily acquired. કેમ લેટ થઈ ગયું માધવ? It's 11:08. Now, yes, compulsorily acquired land and building. Now, for example, your land and building is compulsorily acquired. Okay. So, SSC. Any SSC will get the benefit. Any SSC, first of all, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, partnership firm, company, artificial juridical person, all will get the benefit. Point number 2, there must be compulsory acquisition of land and building or any right in land and building forming part of industrial undertaking. Now, compulsory acquisition of land and building but forming part of industrial undertaking. Okay. For example, you have land or building in industrial undertaking and it is compulsorily acquired. Such land and building should have been used for business purpose. Now, that land and building should be used for business purpose of industrial undertaking for 2 years immediately preceding the date of transfer. Now, that land and building should be used for business purpose. It should be used for business purpose immediately preceding the 2 years from the date of transfer. Okay. Now, okay, that is done. But now, sir, where to invest? That is compulsorily acquired. I will affected by capital gain. Now, where to invest? Now, the SSC must purchase any other land or any other building or construct any building for shifting or re-establishing the existing undertaking or setting up new undertaking. Existing undertaking or new undertaking within 3 years from the date of transfer. Within 3 years from the date of transfer. Now, for example, my land is situated in industrial area. Okay, I am doing the business since 2 years. Since 2 years, and now my land is compulsorily acquired by the government. My land is compulsorily acquired. So I will be affected by the capital gain. Yes. Why? Because government will give some amount. Government will repay me some money. So I will be affected by the capital gain. Now I have purchased. Now my business is already running over there. At that particular land, my business is already running. So I have purchased another land. I have purchased another land for shifting my business. Shifting my business, existing business, or I have decided, no, I don't want to do existing business now because I want to shift my land and at new place there is no business opportunity of the existing line. Okay, there is no opportunity of existing business, so I have started new industrial undertaking. I have started my new business within 3 years from the date of transfer. Then I will get the benefit of the section 54D. Section 54D. So section number 54 is about residential house property. Section number 54 is for residential house property. Section number 54B is for urban agriculture land. Now section number 54D is for compulsorily acquired land or building. Compulsorily acquired land or building in industrial area. Okay, so this is your third exemption. For example, your investment is not made within the time period before the date of filing income tax return. Then you can deposit your money in CGAS account, capital gain account scheme. and that amount should be utilized for the purchase of new asset only. Okay, you cannot use that asset, that money, for any other purpose. You have to use that money for purchase of new land, building, or construct a new building within 3 years time period. But sir, for example, I I was unable to use that money for the particular time period, or I have withdrawn the money from CGS account, but I haven't used it. So you have to pay the tax. Why? Because you have taken the capital gain exemption. So if you have taken the capital gain exemption on the basis that you will in future use that money for capital gain for purchase of that particular asset, but you haven't used it. તમે યુઝ જ ન કરી એના માટે. તમે કેપિટલ ગેઇન એકાઉન્ટ સ્કીમ માંથી રૂપિયા વિથડ્રો કર્યા, but you haven't used that money for specific purpose, and you have used that money for another purpose, then you have to pay the capital gain. You have to pay the capital gain. Now, in such type of case, if cost of new land is more than capital gain, then entire long-term capital gain will be exempt. And if less than capital gain, exempt only to the extent of new land and building. Exempt only new land and building. Now I am giving you the example. For example, my capital gain is, let's say, 25 lakh rupee. Okay, 25 lakh rupee. And I have purchased new land as per section 54B, that is of 18 lakh rupee. How much benefit I will get? And what will be my resultant capital gain? Chalo, please reply. What will be my resultant capital gain? Class, where are you all? What will be my resultant capital gain? Please check your chat box. I have given you one situation. So out of 43 students, no one replied yet. Yes, Uttam, Emmanuel, Divyesh, Brian. It's 7 lakh rupees, Brian. So, yes, all of you are correct, 7 lakh rupees. But in the same case, if my capital gain is 25 lakh rupee and I have invested as per section 54D in new asset, that is 26 lakh rupees, and how much benefit I will get. How much benefit I will get. ₹25 lakh, 25 lakh rupee, 1 lakh rupee. No, Uttam. Capital gain under 250,000. No, Dilip. Yes. Michael, yes, and Brian. Both of you correct. Uttam, now correct. You will get the exemption up to 25 lakh rupees. Why? Because capital gain is 25 lakh and you have invested more than capital gain. Okay, you have invested more than capital gain. That's why the entire long-term capital gain will be exempt. And again, same point, you have to keep this asset for 3 years. If the new land and building is also transferred within 3 years from the date of acquisition, then cost of such land and building would be reduced by the capital gain exempted earlier. Clear? Now, we completed section 54, 54B,
Sir,
54D.
excuse me, sir.
Yes, Brian.
Forgive me for bothering you, but could you throw more light on the last point of if the new land and building is also transferred within 3 years? What does it literally mean?
This is the same point that I have already discussed in section 54B. It means, look, I have given you the example in Excel sheet. Here. For example, in FY 2021, you sell one asset, okay? 1 crore rupee. It was purchased for 50 lakh rupees. So your capital gain is 50 lakh rupee. Okay. Now you acquired land for 26 lakh rupees. Now you acquired land for 26 lakh rupees. So you will get the benefit of section 54D. You will get the benefit under section 54D up to 26 lakh rupees, and the remaining amount will be considered as long-term capital gain. Remaining amount will be considered as long-term capital gain. First of all, this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, it is given that, it is given that you have to keep it for 3 years. You have to keep it for 3 years. You cannot transfer this asset for 3 years. Which asset? This acquired land. This acquired land you cannot transfer up to 3 years. But due to some reason, after 2 years, that is in FY 22-23, you sell the earlier acquired asset or earlier acquired land. Okay, you sell the earlier acquired land, and which is for 35 lakh rupees. Which is for 35 lakh rupees. So now you violate the condition. You violate the condition. That's why your cost here will be 26 lakh rupees. But it will be reduced to the capital gain benefit you have taken earlier. So now your cost will be 0 and your capital gain will be 35 lakh rupees, full amount of sale. Full amount of sale. Clear? For example, after 3 years you sell this asset. After 3 years, then there is no penalty. So now you will get the cost price that you have purchased over here, and your capital gain will be 9 lakh rupee. Your capital gain will be 9 lakh rupee. But you violate the condition, you transferred the asset before 3 years. It means after 2 years, but before 3 years. That's why your cost of land will be reduced by the capital gain. For example, here your acquired land is of 50 lakh rupee. And here it will be 50 lakh minus 50 lakh, then no tax. For example, if it is 555 lakh, then here long-term capital gain will be 0. Why? Because you will get the benefit of 50 lakh. So here your purchase price now, purchase price will be acquired land. This is your purchase price, but minus the capital gain benefit you have taken earlier. So 5 lakh will be your purchase price, and on 30 lakh rupee you are supposed to pay the tax. I think it is clear now, Brian.
Yes, sir.
The same point is given earlier also. Look, here also in 54B, that you cannot transfer within 3 years time period. In 54 also. Here, you cannot transfer within 3 years. If you transfer, then your benefit will be lapsed. Your benefit will be lost. Okay? Now next section, section number 54 EC. Section number 54 EC. Chalo, how many sections we have completed? Please write down in chat box. I want to check the active members of class. Please write down the name of sections. How many sections we have completed? Please write down. I want to check the active members who are active during the session. Uttam, Dilip, Deepak, Emmanuel. 4 students replied. Yes, DVS. Exactly. I want to ask to Deepak, Dilip, what is this section 54A? I don't know. Is there any section? Section 54A? Brian. As per my knowledge, There is only 3 sections: 54, 54B, 54D. There is nothing like 54A. Okay. Look. 54, 54B, 54D that we have completed. And right now we are starting with 54 EC. Then 54F, 54G and 54H. Okay. So there is nothing like 54A. So now, this is most important. Section number 54 EC. Conditions for claiming exemption. Every SSE will get the benefit. Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, partnership firm, company, artificial juridical person, cooperative societies, all will get the benefit. But there should be transfer of capital asset. There should be transfer of capital asset, being land or building or both. Land or building or both. Such asset can also be depreciable asset held for more than 36 months. So on depreciable asset also you will get the benefit. You will get the benefit. Now, okay sir, that is clear that long-term capital asset, land, building and even in depreciable asset we will get the benefit of section 54 EC. But how? What are we supposed to do? We have to invest. We have to invest where the capital gain arising from transfer of such asset should be invested in long term specified asset within 6 months from the date of transfer. 6 મહિનામાં તમારે ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરી દેવાનું after the sale of or after the transfer of long term capital asset, that is land or building, you are supposed to invest in long term specified asset within 6 months. Within 6 months means, for example, I have transferred one land on 1st May 2021. So on or before 1st November 2021, I have to invest in long term specified asset. Long term specified asset. Okay sir, done. We will deposit in long term specified asset. But sir, what is long term specified asset? We don't know what is long term specified asset. So long term specified assets would imply bonds redeemable after 5 years. Bonds redeemable after 5 years, issued on or after 1st April 2018. Now please write down these 2 words: NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, or Rural Electrification Corporation of India. Please write down these 2 words in your notebook: NHAI or RECL. Most probably these 2 will be given in exam. Okay, these 2 bonds will be given in exam. So sir, I have transferred the land and I have purchased the bond of NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, or I have purchased the bond of Rural Electrification Corporation Limited, or Power Finance Corporation Limited, or Indian Railway Finance Corporation Limited, or any other notified bonds by central government. But the most important are these 2, NHAI and RECL. NHAI and RECL. So if I want to say my long-term capital, my transfer of long-term capital asset is 1 crore. Purchase 50 lakh rupees. So capital gain 50 lakh, and I have purchased bond. Now I have purchased bond of NHAI. I have purchased the bond of NHAI, let's say 30 lakh rupees within 6 months. So I will get the benefit of section 54 EC, that is 30 lakh rupees. My long-term capital gain will be 50 minus 30, 20 lakh rupee. 20 lakh rupee. Now, the asset should neither transfer nor convert or avail loan or advance with this bond. So you cannot transfer, you cannot convert, you cannot take loan on this bond as a security for 5 years period. So lock-in period is 5 years from the date of acquisition of such bond. In case that does happen, in case you transferred before 5 years, then capital gain exempted earlier shall be lapsed and taxed as long-term capital gain in that year, in that particular year. Now, in this example, for example, the lock-in period is 5 years. Lock-in period is 5 years, but you transferred after 3 years and transferred for 35 lakh rupees. Let's say 35 lakh rupees. So what is your cost of acquisition? 30 lakh. But it will be reduced to the benefit availed. So your capital gain will be full amount, 35 lakh rupees. So you have to keep it for 5 years. Okay. Now in this case, the entire long-term capital gain is, or amount invested, whichever is lower, is exempted. That we have discussed over here. Okay, amount invested 30 lakh, capital gain 50 lakh, whichever is lower, you will get the benefit of 30 lakh. For example, amount invested 55 lakh, then benefit will be whichever is lower, 50 lakh. Now, the most important part, you have to remember this. The maximum investment which can be made in notified bond or bonds, maximum benefit or maximum investment can be made in notified bonds out of capital gain arising from transfer of one or more assets during the previous year in which the original asset is transferred and in subsequent financial year cannot, please write down, cannot exceed 50 lakh rupees. You cannot invest more than 50 lakh rupees. Okay, you cannot invest more than 50 lakh rupees. Now for example, if your capital gain is 80 lakh rupee, capital gain 1 crore minus purchase price 80 lakh rupee, and you have invested in bonds 60 lakh rupee. You have invested in bonds 60 lakh rupees. So the benefit available is whichever is lower, 80, 60, 80, 60, whichever is lower, so 60. But it cannot exceed the basic limit, that is 50 lakh rupees. You cannot get the benefit more than 50 lakh rupee. Clear? So your long-term capital gain will be 80 minus 50, 30 lakh rupees. Clear છે? 3 points that we have considered. First of all, NHAI, RECL, investment in bonds within 6 months from the date of transfer. Okay, and maximum benefit available 50 lakh rupees. 50 lakh rupees. These 3 points that can be asked in exam. 4 mark question, 8 mark question, MCQ 1 mark. Okay. Arey yaar, only 2 replies. What are you doing? Chalo, please reply. If you have any doubt, then you can raise your doubt, okay? It is not necessary that you have to say, yes, sir, it is clear. You can raise the doubt also, if you have. Okay. So now we have completed section 54, 54B, 54D, 54 EC. 4 exemptions we have completed. Clear? Section number 54 is all about. Chalo, reply in chat box. Section number 54 is all about. Very good. Instant reply. Dilip. Only one reply? Section number 54. What yes? Section number 54 is all about. Residential house property. I got only one reply. Yes, Divyesh. Okay. So that's all for today. All of you are requested to write down the enrollment number. Thank you, all of you. Dhanraj, David. Lecture is over. Mihir. Nicholas.
So I don't have good network.